Hello freelance, welcome back to today's tutorial on how to make a Kaftan Bubu with a built-up neckline. If today is the first time you're coming to this channel, welcome, you're so welcome, and please do subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for following this channel. So if you're interested in this very video, let's get right to it. I have with me here a 3 yards of Ankara fabric with this one that I'll be using for the built-up neckline, and I'm attaching a lining to this. Then also with your soft gum stay, your soft paper, and I'm working with a length of 63 inches, so I'll make sure I have at least 65 inches length. Let's get on to fold this. This is really a long one, so this is how I folded it. This is my 3.5 yards. I folded it this way and then like this. So this is my center fold and both the front and back together. Now this is my center fold, just like I showed you here. And what I will do now is, this is it, the center fold. So the first thing is to mark the starting line, that is the shoulder line of 1/2 inch. I have it here. And the next thing is to measure the shoulder to shoulder. Shoulder to shoulder is 16.5 divided by 2. I have 8.25, so I'm going to mark it here, 8.25. Then I'm working with a sleeve of 10 inches. So from here, 10 inches is here. So this is a cut together dress with the sleeve, cut together with the sleeve. Next is my neckline. I'm making use of a neck width of 4 inches and a neck depth for my front of 1 inch, for my back of 1 inch, and for the front I'm making use of 8 inches. And I'll connect with my ruler. The next thing is I'll measure from our shoulder to the hip line. The reason is because the hip is the highest circumference and I want to add only 4 inches to it. So shoulder to hip line is 27.5 inches, which is here. So this is from shoulder to hip line. Then the hip of my client is 46.5 inches divided by 4. We have 11.625 inches. So from our center fold, this is 11.625. Then I'm going to add extra 4 inches for ease, just for you to flow, and that is here. Then I'm also adding just 1 inch sewing allowance, which is here. Now from here, I'm coming down by a shoulder slope of 1.5 inches, just 1.5 inches. And I'm going to connect these 2 points together. The next thing is to determine our sleeve opening. I want the sleeve opening to be 13 inches. But because let me start from here. I'll mark down 13 inches. And our 13 inches is here. And next is to connect these 2 points together, and then I'll make a curve here so that it will be smooth. If you leave it this way, it's going to be sharp and you won't like it. This is it. And then we'll draw out our allowance line. The next thing is, if you notice from the dress, the down part is a bit curved, is a bit, shaped. So what I'm going to do is, on the down part, I'm going to determine the down part, the gown length, and I told us the gown length is 63 inches. So from our shoulder, I'm going to mark down 63 inches. 62 inches. Now remember, I have a hip of in total 16 inches. I'll mark that 16 inches here and take out just 2 from it, between 2 and 3. I have 16 here, but taking out 2 inches from it will give me 14 inches. Or rather, let me make it 3 inches. Let me take out 3 inches from it. So that will be 13. So I'll connect this 13 to this point. So you can see from the hip, I want to curve it out a little. So this is our 1 inch allowance already, and I'm going to connect it. Then on our hem, I'm going to use this whole place. So here I will make this straight. Next thing is to add our sewing allowance on the neck and the shoulder. So for my neckline, 0.5. So I'm going to mark out 0.5 this way. And our shoulder line, the chalk is a bit messy, sorry about that. So I'm going to trim it out. I'm first cutting our back neckline. So next I will take out the back, but I must make sure to notch the center back. Now this is the front alone, and for the built up part that I'm going to use a white fabric, I want it to be 2.5 inches. That is in total 5 inches, but on full 2.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out that 2.5 inches. I'm going to mark it down, and that is what I've already marked here, 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches. So you mark it down and connect. I've done that, but I need half an inch sewing allowance or joining allowance to this white fabric. So I'm going to mark out 0.5 inch all the way down. And here is it. So that means instead of 2.5, I marked 2 inches. Then I'm going to cut this out. We are done with that. So the front is on a separate piece already. So I brought back this for us to see where we marked before for the front. So you will just replace it here. Or remember, our front, we used 8 inches. So you just mark 8 inches here. It's the same thing. And now this is where we will now curve. Connect this to the main point and the allowance to the main point. Then we notch this part. After that, I've gone ahead to cut out the lining. I'm making use of a cotton bale lining. So the next thing is to join it shoulder to shoulder. So you unfold your back. This is the right side of my back. This is my front. Just make sure you're aligning it properly. So this is my back and this is my front, right side facing right side. And do same for this part too. So you take it to your sewing machine and sew this side by that 0.5 inch sewing allowance you gave. You also sew the other side on the shoulder, and we'll continue from there. But if you're making use of lining just like me, I want to turn the side, to give it a neat finish. So this is my back, right side, and I'll place this also. And I'll take it to the sewing machine and sew the sides down. Sew this side too, down, leaving the shoulder. I'll do it for this and also for the front before I turn it on the shoulder. So this is one side, and this is how neat it is. So let me quickly show us how I got this neat look. This is one part of the front, and this is my back, right side facing right side. Placing it together, then I will just make sure you arrange it. And then this is the lining for the back. So I will turn it from this side. I'll hold it this way and use the lining for the back to cover the front. So I'll just match it up like this and take it to the sewing machine, sew it, and when you unfold it, it will be very neat. That is if you're making use of a lining. Now working on the center front, what we are going to do is we're going to cut a very long strip of fabric. So remember our center back, we had a notch there. So we are going to measure from that center back that I gave a notch. Measure it down to the end. I have 68 inches on total, so multiplying it by 2, because this we just got only one part, so multiplying it by 2, whatever you get, you're going to cut a very long strip of fabric for it. So I'm making use of this, and I'm going to join. I'll have to join, and I'll also add extra 3 inches to it, just in case of any extra. This is the long strip of fabric, and I've already folded it. And on this side, I have 6 inches, but on fold it is 3 inches. Reason is, remember we cut out 2.5 for that center, so this is 2.5 plus ½ inch sewing allowance, so that is why I have 3 inches on fold. Then what we are going to do is, first of all, we will join the end. We'll join this end. I've already joined mine because, like I said, I just had to join fabrics together, so I already joined mine. Then we'll get our dress, and we're going to measure from our center back. Measure from our center back. Remember, I still have my notch here. Up to my front neck depth. Remember, I also gave a notch here, so as you can see, measuring it, what I have is 12.25. Then we keep it aside, and from here, remember I've already joined, so I'm starting after the joined seam. So from here, I measured down 12.25. I already marked it out here. So the next thing to measure is where our slit will start from. Remember, this dress has a slit on the front, so where our slit starts from, I'm going to measure the front. Of course, I want the slit to start from the length of 46 inches, and of course here we already, on the front alone, we have 8 inches here. Remember, front alone, but because this is both the front and the back, so for me to know where my 46 inches, that is where the slit will start from, what I'm going to do is I will place our front neck depth of 8 inches. I will just place this here, and then I will check down till I get my 46 inches. So my 46 inches is here. So I will take this to my sewing machine. I've already ironed this, so I have the center point already. Then I will sew down from this point I have here. I will sew it on the center line. I will sew it up to this very point. Another way you can also do this is measure your client from down to where you want the slit to stop. So when you must have taken out the allowances you gave here, you just measure it and mark it out. After that, you can see I stopped here. After that, I'm going to open it up this way. Now this becomes our center back. And then we grab our dress. So this is my back, and this is the center back denoted with my notch here. So I'll grab this. This is my center too. Center back, so I'll pin it here. Don't forget to pin together with your lining. Match it here and pin. Just do this down, match it down, do the same for the other side, and I'll come to show us. Please, when you are done pinning this point, check to see that it enters your head. Or if you're making it for someone, at least use your head to estimate for your client. And so after that, I will take it to sew from one side to the end, and I will continue to the other side, and we'll see from here. So this is what I have on the wrong side. You can decide to top stitch this on the front. I don't want to do it. So the next thing is on our sleeve. I want to attach an extra fabric on the slit. So you can decide to do this way. I have unfold 2.5 inches. So when I must have joined it, it will be 2 inches. So on total, we have 5 inches here, but unfold 2.5. So you can decide to join this here already. You just sew it by 0.25 and then it will be like this. That is before shaping the sides. But I want to shape the sides of mine before attaching the sleeve, this extra. So I'll put everything together. So join your sides by whatever inches allowance you have. In my case, I gave 1 inch allowance, but I have already taken 0.25 to sew this. So I'm sewing it with 0.75. So join your sides together. I'm done shaping the sides. Then from my shoulder, I'll measure my length, the dress length. Whatever it is, mark it out, trim off the excess, but leave 1 inch, and I'm going to fold it. Fold it in like this, double folding by 1 inch, and sew hem it around. Then after that, I'll come to my sleeve and I'll measure my sleeve, the sleeve opening. Here I have 23 inches, so I'll get this. Then I'll fold it. 23 inches divided by 2 is 11.5. So I'll mark out 11.5 here. And I have it here. Then plus half an inch joining allowance. So I'll trim off the excess. Make sure this is 2, so I have 2 of it. So after that, I'll unfold this, take it to my sewing machine. This is the right side. I also ironed an interfacing on it. Then I'll fold it this way and sew it down with that 0.5 inch. Do the same for this side. I'm done sewing it, and then I'll turn it this way. So this is the side with the seam. I'm going to wear it into my sleeve. So that side with the seam, I'm joining it. I'm matching it with the side seam also. You pin down. So you just match it round and take it to your sewing machine and sew it round by 0.5 inch. Match it just the way I've done on this one. So after joining it on this side, I went ahead to top stitch, and that is all for this dress. Thank you very much for staying with us, and please do subscribe. I remain your tutor, Uche Beyonce. See you in my next one. Bye bye.